taken. And a good stick right there from number 53, Donovan Palmer. Did not let the player get up the field. We have a flag on the play. Maybe a little skirmish between the players after. We have an unsportsmanlike conduct play, or penalty, excuse me, on the Eagles, and that will drive Upper Dublin forward 15 yards. Not what the coaches wanted, a very undisciplined play right there. And Norristown at this point has really got to bear down. They got the lead, but they really have to keep it right now.
And after Norristown may have caught a break with the ball being fielded by Upper Dublin, looked like it might have been going out of bounds, but probably can't take that chance right now. So they fielded it, and then Norristown compounding the mistake by giving 15 more yards. Now Upper Dublin much closer to where they would want to be to start this drive.
We'll start from the 38-yard line. This is really a good break for Upper Dublin. They've got to try and capitalize right here. Brandenburg on first down. The pitch is to Jesse. Can he get to the outside? No, the Norristown defenders will not let him up the field. He lost a yard on that play. Monty Jesse's got to be running out of steam. He keeps trying to swing to that outside. The linemen are just not getting that push upfield. And those Norristown D linemen are really getting to the outside.
And on that sweep, it was Eric Benitez out there to contain Jesse. On the sweep, it's usually the guy who really makes the play and breaks up the play is usually not the guy who makes the tackle. It's usually that end who gets out there to contain. And Benitez read the sweep well, got well outside, and as Upper Dublin tried to block Benitez too far out, he was still able to maintain his ground, contain Monty Jesse, and get help from Terry Powell.
2nd and 11, and the backs are in the eye. Made a motion coming to the near side. Brandenburg, the quick drop. He'll flick it to the outside, and that's a lateral. That ball is live. Monty Jesse appears to have fallen on it or pushed it to the outside.
Oh, and not a very safe play. Not a very clean play right there. Brandenburg with a quick pump fake to try and get Norristown defenders downfield and just hold them while he pitched to Jesse. But that lateral, again, well short and nowhere near Monty Jesse.
So now 3rd and 16. Things starting to fall apart on the offensive side of the ball for Upper Dublin. Brandenburg in trouble. Stewart with the pursuit, but lead blocking gets them about, we'll give them 6 or 7 on the play. Looks like it went to the fullback, John Brandenburg. Nowhere near the first down, and they'll have to punt. Good pursuit there by the big lineman, James Stewart.
And it's a good play call, but with that many yards to go, it's tough to run a 10-yard screen on this kind of defense, a defense that's this fast. But it was a good play call. We saw a guy who hasn't really seen the ball much tonight, John Brandenburg, as the receiver, and a couple guys out in front, but Norristown just flooded that left defensive side.
So we'll call it 4th and 8. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Norristown absolutely dominating that 3rd quarter, outscoring the Cardinals 14-0, establishing themselves as, once again, as the best team in this league, up 21-6. The coach is a little upset with some of the penalties probably in that quarter. They're very happy that their team, expanded their lead and got a little bit more, a little bit of safety to go into the 4th quarter.
And I spoke too soon at the halftime, saying that Norristown dominated the first half, but you can use the word now. They really did dominate that 3rd quarter, and when you have a turnover in a tight game like this, it could very well decide it. And now Upper Dublin is forced to do things that they might not necessarily do, knowing that they need 2 scores rather than just the 1 to even up. So Norristown forced that turnover after a sloppy play and a wet ball, and they capitalized. And now Upper Dublin has to capitalize on that Norristown penalty. Looks like they're going to be forced to punt, however, by that great Norristown defense. And so now Norristown's going to have the opportunity to eat a little more time off that clock.
And we talked about it with Spicko's 2 kickoffs last quarter. Or, yeah, I guess the 2 after the rain let loose. Furman's kick will be wind aided. Stewart and Edmonds obviously aware of that. The rain let up a little bit, now starting to come down pretty steady now. Furman's kick is high. That'll come out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. They'll go down to about the 30-yard line. The Norristown offense will come onto the field. Like you said, Walt, they'll try and eat some time up. They know this game is theirs. All they have to do is just control the ball now.
And these 2 teams have played 3 common opponents, and seeing Upper Dublin really for the first time, the common opponents is one of the best indicators of, maybe how these teams match up with each other. And both of them handled Methacton pretty well. Norristown, of course, a shutout, 41-0. And Upper Dublin won the game 38-21. So again, they put up a lot of points. But the real difference is in that Penridge game. Norristown, against one of the tougher teams they're going to play, handled them 29-0. Upper Dublin was a loss, 45-28. So they will give up some points.
Stewart, the handoff to Swittenberg up the middle. He'll grind forward for a couple of yards. Right now at 21-6, the tough thing for a team in the Suburban 1 American now is that there's not a lot of guys who are stars who can come back and say, okay, we're down 15 points. I can get us into the end zone, and then we're right back in it. That's one of the tough things, and Norristown's gotten so many leads and has been very impressive in keeping them this year.
Yeah, it really is forced to the system to get you some points rather than the superstars. And head coach John Pavlik and Upper Dublin are really going to have to come up with some tricks in that system right now.
2nd and 8. Ball is on the ground. Swittenberg picks it up. He'll drive forward and get 2. The old fumble, running back, pick it up and run 2-yard play.
And boy, Troy Swittenberg almost always makes the right play, but even with a lot of room there, you gotta be a little bit nervous seeing him get down to pick that ball up, especially given the conditions. With Norristown up 15 points here, and that only being a 2nd down play, your first instinct is just fall on it, just fall on it. But Troy Swittenberg, very alert, managed to get some yards out of it.
Always trying to make something out of nothing, and it's really a sign of how confident these players are and how confident everybody else is in their talents. So 3rd and 6 for Norristown. They'd like to get a couple of first downs. This is an important one right here. The pitch to Swittenberg. Can he get to the outside? He pushes forward, breaks. Oh, he almost had himself a touchdown. He had one guy to beat. Somehow he got through a bunch of about 8 Upper Dublin players, got himself a first down. As completely amazing that he got through that hole.
Well, the first hole he got through was created by Brian Gordon, again in motion. There was a hold, however, and actually Gordon was pretty well locked up, and it's about in the spot where he was, so that one might have been on Gordon. But the hole was opened up wide, and Swittenberg, amazing on this field that he's able to dance like that, cut back, and then just a shoestring tackle spun him around, prevented the run to the end zone, which would have created some excitement, but of course with the holding call would have come right back.
They'll drive him back and make it an even longer 3rd down play now.
And the penalties are almost understandable. I mean, it got very rainy, very windy, and the temperature dropped about 15 degrees really, really quickly. But right now is, again, when you really have to pull it together, it's like this right now in late October. If you get up to Hershey in early December, you can't count on very good conditions. I'll tell you that right now. So if that's your ultimate goal, then this is a test.
The only thing I know about Hershey is that it's nice at Hershey Park in the summer. I can't even describe that to you, folks. I don't know what happened right there. I think everybody's kind of questioning each other. Walt, do you have an answer for that?
I blame it on a gopher. It looked like popped out of the ground. popped the ball right out of Matt DePiero's hands. Now the ball, it was very strange. It looked like on the snap, the ball just popped straight up in the air, and Troy Wittenberg ran under it like a punt. Tried to get to the outside, but I think everyone was so stunned that the Upper Dublin players reacted to the ball, and Norristown, for obvious reasons, wasn't ready to fire off to block.
Gopher?
Groundhog?
All right.
Woodchuck? Woodchucks aren't big enough, I don't think, to do that.
I think I'll agree with the Gopher. Of course, I played on that field last night, so I didn't see any Gophers. The ball is loose on the ground. The receiver for Upper Dublin, ball probably slipped through his hands because of the rain. And we'll wait for the pile to clear.
It happened off a slip. It's Upper Dublin's ball. They managed to recover.
Unfortunately for Norristown, we have an injured player on the field. He's down around the 45-yard line. So good composure there from the return man from Upper Dublin.
Well, as he tried to come up and field it, he slipped. His right leg just went right out from under him. Reached the hands out. That's what caused the muffed punt. And again, the conditions with the slipping and the sliding can cause a lot of lower body injuries.
Injuries to number 2, Sheldon Gray, but he's walking off gingerly, but he seems to be okay. Well, I just thought about it and I looked down. I have to give credit to the 5 brave cheerleaders that are still standing on the track right now cheering their team on.
Yeah, they went in undercover briefly, but they're right back out, and there are a few diehards still left here watching the end of this good game.
Brandenburg on first down. Handoff is to Monty Jesse. He slips through the hole. He'll get about 8 yards. Tackled there by 7. Lou Samba. Monty Jesse with some speed.
Nice explosion that time. They got Jesse quickly to the line of scrimmage. Right through the guard tackle hole, and they opened up a nice area for Jesse to hit at full speed. And that's what Upper Dublin needs to do. Keep themselves in second and short so Norristown can't turn that defense loose on them.
And really, this game not over yet. Upper Dublin on the other side, on Norristown's side of midfield. And Jesse breaks through the hole. And he's still on the run. We have a flag thrown around where Jesse landed. But Monty Jesse's starting to eat up some yardage. Let's see who the flag is going to be on. Looks like a holding call on Norristown, or is that a holding or a face mask?
It's actually going to be more. It's going to be a face mask again on Norristown.
That carry, he goes over 1,000 for the season.
So as players begin to have a tougher time getting their footing, you reach out for anything you can get, and that time, unfortunately, a face mask was grabbed.
Now, Upper Dublin within striking territory with just under 8 minutes left. Down 15, 2-point conversion with a touchdown. You know, they're only a touchdown down. Norristown really has to be careful right now. Another challenge for this defense. They've had a lot of them tonight. They've stood up to most of them, and this is another one that they have to stand up to. Ball will be spotted around the 14. Brandenburg back to pass. Looking over the middle. That slipped through Lou Samba's hands and into the hands of the receiver, number 81, Bobby Logano. A weird play right there. Samba thought he had a touch, or interception, excuse me. And Bobby Logano winds up catching a pass for 9 yards.
Fantastic concentration from Logano. It really was right in Samba's hands. And Logano went to the ground and just cradled that ball. Not going to catch anything with your hands right now. Ball's probably a little too wet, and you're really going to have to try to plant your feet. So Logano just down to the ground, cradled the ball. Nicely thrown by Brandenburg, had Lou Samba not been there.
So 2nd and 1 for Upper Dublin. The handoff is to Jesse up the middle. Did he get in? I think he might have been short. Norristown stopped him. Either way, it's a first down. There'll be first and goal for Upper Dublin.
And he is quick inside that hole. Troy Swittenberg hits the hole quickly, but is a little more of a glider until he gets out in the open field. But Monty Jesse is real quick into the hole and very quick once he's in there. Loves to dance, but always going forward, and that's the important thing. That's how you get yards that Monty Jesse gets.
First and goal, Brandenburg on the keeper. And he's in for the touchdown. Justin Brandenburg, a 1-yard keeper, he gets in. And now we have a 21-12 game. I would assume that Upper Dublin would be going for 2 on this play.
Well, boy, it sure looked like Upper Dublin was pushing forward, at least rocking forward a little bit before that ball was snapped. I know Brandenburg was right over the top of his center, and it looked like the center was rocking forward, but it wasn't caught. So the big quarterback takes it in. A drive that was really keyed on Monty Jesse.
This stop is huge for Norristown right here. They can deny the 2-point conversion. This would be big. Brandenburg back to pass. He's looking for the other corner of the end zone. And he got him. Somehow the receiver over on that far sideline kept the feet in bounds, made the catch, and it's now a 21-14 ball game. Upper Dublin right back in it. Now all of a sudden it's quiet right here on this Norristown sideline. Momentum has swung from the third quarter back over to the Upper Dublin sideline.
And for that 2-point conversion, Upper Dublin gave Norristown a taste of their own medicine. They went to the big guy, 84, Greg Furman, 6'4", 231, and Terry Powell out there at 6 feet trying to cover him. Furman was just too much for him to handle, so a huge 2-point conversion. Again, that drive built on the running of Monty Jesse, and Monty Jesse, reaching a milestone, went over 1,000 yards on that drive. So Jesse with a coming up big when his team really needed him and reaching a personal milestone himself.
Now, with 6:25 left, do you go for the onside kick, or is it too early? Do you trust your defense?
Oh, no, it's way too early right now for the onside kick. Norristown would have too good a field position, and a touchdown would put them away, put Upper Dublin away, obviously, with only half a quarter to go. So with the conditions, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So you want to kick the ball away and see what Norristown's going to do. Put it on your defense, make Norristown execute right now. And it's going to, you put it on them. It's going to have to be up to them to execute and take some time off. No one's used a timeout yet in this half, I don't believe. So both teams with all 3 left. Upper Dublin obviously conserving them wisely.
Storton Swindenberg deep once again for Norristown. Kick is on the ground, taken by Samba, the up man. And now he's going to run the ball. Tries to get to the outside. Breaks a tackle right there. And the fullback, Samba, gets out to the 41-yard line. Good run back after bobbling the ball. People screaming fall at it, but Samba having confidence in himself to get to that far sideline, try and make something of it.
Well, that wasn't an onside kick. Obviously there, in that case, you would fall on it. But Jesse just scooted along the ground, but hard. It looked like he either came up on it early or was just trying to keep his footing, or maybe caused Norristown to muff the ball a little bit. But Samba just stopped it, calmly picked it up, and raced for open field. Managed to turn the corner a little bit and give Norristown a good starting point to try and get this game-winning drive. I should say game-ending drive. They're winning it right now, but this would be the one that they would need to put it away.
So from the 40 now, first down. Expect to see a lot of Swittenberg. Tossed to him on the left side. Can he get to the outside? And he's hit right there. Will not get past the line of scrimmage. Number 16. Looks like we had 48 Brian Brady. 62 Jason List over there. They would not let Swittenberg get outside. He hopped by one guy, but welcome to Upper Dublin territory.
The Cardinals have a little
back.
excuse me, Greg, the Cardinals have really some life right now. Their defense has a lot of energy. So Norristown, you saw right there, trying to run the sweep. And as it gets tougher for Swittenberg to turn the corner, Upper Dublin's just turning it loose on him.
So on 2nd and 11, 2 receivers are split. Stewart back to pass. A gutsy play call. It slipped out of his hand a little bit behind Preet. Preet could not catch up to that one, and now 3rd and 11, and the clock stops at 5:16.
Yeah, he's got the arm strength to fire that ball out there. And again, it's Ricky Preet on the flare out to the sideline, but tough throw to make right now under these conditions. All these Stewart's very talented quarterback, but the long out is a real tough throw to make. Preet was wide open though, so Norristown's trying still this late in the game to mix it up, keep Upper Dublin on their toes.
So 3rd and 11 now for Norristown. They are packed in, one receiver to the outside. Bobbled it once again. Stewart gets to the outside. He'll toss one up, and it's broken up right there. Number 9, Chris Enger, doing a nice job coming from the linebacker position to get outside. Break that one up as Brian Gordon had some open space. Couldn't loft it over Enger. Now Norristown has to punt. And Walt, dangerous territory with 5:05 left, Upper Dublin. A lot of momentum, and they have a chance to tie this game and really stun some people.
Well, this is where you lean on your number 1 ranked defense. The offense has gotten 21 points. Part of that with courtesy of a turnover caused by your defense, but right now you got to count on Trey Hadrick to get a good kick away, good coverage, and then you make Upper Dublin beat you.
Low snap to Hadrick. Somehow he gets that kick away, gets a good bounce. That ball rolled down to the 25-yard line. Good effort right there from Trey Hadrick. He was very composed, knew he had guys coming, and knew he was going to get hit, and still got it away, got a good roll.
And saw the Upper Dublin players did not want to touch that ball. Not the situation where you make the mistake, especially since they're going to get decent field position at the 25-yard line. But certainly a couple players around the ball considered picking it up and wisely let it roll. So Trey Hadrick made the best of a bad situation right there. A lot of nervous times. But now it is up to that Norristown defense to hold off on this 75 yards.
So on 1st down, Brandenburg under center. He'll hand off to Jesse. Jesse will try and get to the outside, and he does. He breaks a tackle, breaks a couple more, and he gets outside. 1st down. He's pushed out of bounds by James Edmonds, but a great run right there from Monty Jesse. And Upper Dublin with about a 20-yard run, all of a sudden looking close to midfield and really scaring this Norristown team.
And there were 2 arm tackles right there, 2 guys coming off the end, and Jesse, keeping his shoulder square, ran right through them. And as good as James Edmonds is back there, when Jesse turns that corner, it scares you because Edmonds has good speed, but he's a big guy, and Monty Jesse has excellent speed. So if Jesse's isolated on Edmonds, advantage Jesse.
Hand off to Jesse, and he's got a hole once again, but it's closed quickly. Mike Wilson and Trey Hadrick close in on Jesse right there. You saw a hole opening. Jesse just couldn't get there quick enough. Wilson and Hadrick with their speed get to him.
And now Norristown's going to do a little bit of what Upper Dublin's been doing all game, and that's force the run. They're going to use their safety, Trey Hadrick. Obviously Norristown not playing the 4-4 that Upper Dublin does, but playing a 5-2 with the traditional 4 defensive backs. But Trey Hadrick plays a very strong safety, a guy who's often right up on the line. So they're going to make Monty Jesse run through a lot of people if he's going to beat them, or else they're going to make Upper Dublin beat them with somebody else.
Well, Jameel Butler had gone to the locker room. He is back now. He's standing on the sidelines. They'd love to see him in the game right now. They need a little bit of help on defense, trying to stop this Upper Dublin team. Brandenburg back to pass. He'll scramble. Stewart chasing him. Just overthrew the receiver on the far sidelines. Now we'll go to 3rd down.
And smart play, a sack right there would have absolutely killed them. So he threw out to his receiver, who was open by a little, had a little bit of room out there, but Brandenburg running to his left, having to throw as a right-handed quarterback, had a tough throw to complete.
And once again, a smart throw from Brandenburg. It was a throw that couldn't have been intercepted. The only thing that could have been done was if it was caught by the Upper Dublin player. So now 3rd and 9. Norristown looking for the stop right here. We're under 4 minutes. Fan tour is still here cheering on the Norristown Eagles. Brandenburg back to pass. The screenplay slipped through the hands of Monty Jesse. It's a tough play to run. He was looking upfield a little bit. He saw Terry Powell coming over to him, probably thinking about that first move, and unfortunately just slipped through the young man's hands.
Well, and the thing is, it's 3rd and 9, so, you know, where you always say catch the ball first and then make your move. Hey, he has to get the first down. He doesn't have much choice. So on 3rd and 9, Monty Jesse obviously thinking about going upfield as they screen to him again on a 3rd and long.
Now Upper Dublin's going to punt the ball away. Furman, leg's going to fall off if he keeps having to punt tonight. Down the field a lot. Low snap. He handles it well. That's a booming kick from Furman. That ball is going to die at the 2-yard line. Are you kidding me? That ball hit at the 5, went to the 2, and said, no more, I'm done.
And it was nailed by Furman. You would think that thing's going to get to the end zone, but James Edmonds just turned around, watched it go over his head, and he's got to consider right there that ball might die. You got to understand the conditions, and where, you know, you're not going to catch a ball that you don't have to catch in this situation, but you have to consider that ball might die, and as hard as it's hit, he has time to get back there and pick that up should it die before it reaches the goal line. So 56-yard punt, and Upper Dublin keeps making the big plays when they need them. Only 3:16 left, but they're hanging around.
And from the 2-yard line, you've got to really be careful and make sure you get positive yardage on every play right now.
And that's the one thing that Norristown is good at, especially with Swittenberg. They usually do get positive yards if they come straight ahead.
Can't imagine them trying to do anything fancy here. The lunge forward, and there's a fumble. Upper Dublin ball. There's a fumbled snap maybe, or it might have been on the keeper that he fumbled the ball. But now Upper Dublin will get the ball on the 4-yard line. Wow. An unbelievable turn of events right here. And that's what happens with that great punt that died at the 2-yard line. One good play, you know, results to another, and all of a sudden Upper Dublin with a chance to tie this ball game.
And it's, again, turnovers, and it's where you make them. And Norristown has made their turnover in a worse spot than Upper Dublin made theirs. And right now it could cost Norristown the lead. Looked like it was a fumbled snap because Arlie Stewart didn't dive like the keeper. He really dove straight to the ground like he was trying to get a handle on the ball. So it looked like a bad exchange as they just tried to blow forward.
Maybe some problems there, even with the injured center, Chris Durant, being gone. Maybe some communication problems. And that just adds in with the rain. Not going to run the play yet.
I think we're dealing with a clock problem right now. We're going to adjust the clock. And we're running down the minutes, so it looks like there's a significant time difference between what the officials on the field feel the time should be and what the timekeepers got.
Well, no matter what time it is, you couldn't ask for a more exciting game. After that 3rd quarter, it appeared that this Norristown team was going to roll to another easy victory. Give Upper Dublin a lot of credit. They did not look at this team and say, you're number 4 in the state, we're going to roll it over and die. This team came out in the 4th quarter and said, we're not done yet.
Well, the Norristown offense went a little bit stagnant, and most of the credit for that goes to the Upper Dublin defense. They really keyed on Swittenberg again, and conditions being what they were, Norristown didn't have any other weapons to go to. And what you do is you put yourself in situations like this. You know, how many times would we have seen a punt go 20 yards, Norristown takes it 50 yards for the score? But no, Greg Furman came up huge. And maybe a small mental mistake that time by James Edmonds, not at least escorting that ball back to the goal line, puts Norristown down tight, and then the turnover.
So everybody's stacked up. The handoff is to Jesse. He gets to the outside. Easy touchdown from Monty Jesse. A 4-yard run. And now, barring any mistakes on the extra point, this game is going to be tied.
And remember, we have had one blocked already. Should they go for the one?
They appear to be going for 2, Walt.
And it was Monty Jesse on that blocked kick because their kicker is hurt. So instead of bringing Jesse out, Upper Dublin's going to go for the win right now.
And Norristown's going to take a timeout. They're going to try and regroup a little bit, see if the defense can take a breather. It's got to be a hard time for this defense. They've given up 7 points all year, and to look up at the scoreboard and see you've given up 20 right now, and to realize that maybe playoff standings and playoff berths are in jeopardy right now. This is a huge 2-point conversion.
Well, I mean, if you're Upper Dublin, hey, what do you have to lose? They're 3-4. They really don't have anything to lose, and to knock off the Giant, the new Giant in town, that's certainly worth it to them. What I would have loved to see is if they had their regular kicker, what would they do? Would they still take the extra point, play defense, and go to overtime? Or would they decide to, hey, let's beat them right now, or at least put the 2 points on the board and make Norristown come back to beat you? Because certainly the Upper Dublin defense has had the better part of this fourth quarter.
The Norristown defense will come back onto the field.
And now remember, with 2.5 yards to go, you have to be aware of Justin Brandenburg and that size. Falling forward, he's good for at least 1.5 yards. So you have to be aware of him. Although obviously the main option is going to be Monty Jesse.
Now the backs are in the eye. There's 3 actually back there.
Brandenburg!
Quick handle. No, Brandenburg. Did he get there? He got there. Justin Brandenburg on the keeper. He got to the corner, and it is 22-21.
And total chaos on the Upper Dublin sideline. You can see how much this means to them. They know what they've just done. This isn't the normal game in the course of things. They know that they've just gone up on top of this undefeated Norristown team with 3 minutes left to go. And Norristown has to be a little bit stunned right now. It was Brandenburg. They faked to Jesse, and Brandenburg got to the outside. Quick pump fake just to hold the defenders. And then with that size, looked like he almost reached across the goal line. It was real close down there near the pylon. But the official was right there on the corner and gave the signal.
If you would ask me before that play where I thought Justin Brandenburg would have gotten into the end zone, I would have said up the middle. But he kicked it to the outside, and to see a 205-pound guy get it to the outside and beat a guy to the corner, it's real nice to see from that quarterback.
Well, from the 2.5, it's real clogged up that middle. So you fake to Jesse to hold those guys inside, then got good blocking on the outside.
Norristown fans trying to get their team in it. Stewart and Swittenberg, the deep men. Can't imagine the kick getting back to them. Don't want to let them try and do anything right now. With 3 minutes left, Norristown has a lot of time, and this is a team we've talked about all year. They can strike quickly. So even if there were 30 seconds on the clock, I'd say this game is not over. And with 3 minutes, definitely not. Kick is low and on the ground. Ball's loose. Upper Dublin recovers the ball. The ball was loose on the ground. The player dove on it. It squirted out of there. And Upper Dublin gets the ball back. Number 25, Greg Miller, fell on the ball right there. Absolutely amazing. Upper Dublin's offense comes back on the field, 2:57.
And really, yeah,
unbelievable.
Really, Norristown has lost a lot of focus right now. The ball's 25 yards from the point where it was kicked off. You got to be able to fall on the ball right there. And that's what they were trying to do. They weren't trying to pick it up and run, certainly. But they were just trying to fall on the ball. And as one guy went down, hit off his chest, another player tried to come over the top. Upper Dublin really sent their sideline men down quickly. And knowing that they have a win right in their grasp, they're going all out for it.
So from the 33-yard line, they'll keep it on the ground. Jesse up the middle. He squirts through. He didn't get to the first down marker, but he got very, very close. Monty Jesse squeaking through the hole right there. And this Upper Dublin team is 240 away from the biggest upset of the year.
And that's a 5'6" guy now who is really grinding out the yards when Upper Dublin needs them. To take the time off, they have to go to Monty Jesse. They have nothing else. So you know what they're going to do. You know where they're going to go. They're certainly not going to risk the incomplete pass to stop the clock. It's going to be Monty Jesse from here on out. But lately it's been that left side of his line. that's really dominated the Norristown defense.
An official's timeout on the field. Well, I am totally speechless to think that this Norristown team could have given out 16 points in the fourth quarter at 21-6. You know, you said it at the beginning of the fourth quarter. This Upper Dublin team was not out of the game, but it really looked like, you know, they didn't have a chance of coming back.
Well, you want to make them go to long field if they need to get back into this game. And Norristown didn't make them go to the long field. So, you know, you can rely on your defense, as great as it is, but you can only rely on it so much. If you're going to put them down at the 4-yard line, they got a tough task. But give up credit to Upper Dublin. They capitalize on their mistakes and they make the big plays. Remember, it was that punt that put Norristown down that deep. And then the mishandled snap got them the ball back, and it was an easy punch in from there.
They're going to reset the clock.
I don't think so.
They appear to be having some time problems here.
Norristown is using this time break to try and fire themselves up. And it certainly must slow the momentum of Upper Dublin, give Norristown a chance to regroup and refresh a little bit.
So we're going to reset the clock to 2 minutes and 25 seconds, put on 12 seconds onto the game clock. The time is of the essence right now for Norristown.
And they keep getting some back, so.
Nah.
Tense situation right now.
We had about 30 seconds put on earlier in this fourth quarter. And at that point, you were thinking to yourself, well, don't put on 30 more seconds. This game is getting closer. Now you're saying to yourself, you should have put on 45.
Yeah, all we need. But Norristown right now just has to focus on the stop. Remember, they are down. It's in Upper Dublin's hands just to grind this out. And Norristown's going to have to key right on that Monty Jesse. I think one more first down would really put Norristown very much behind the 8 ball. So they're looking right now at the 2nd and 1 to maybe give up this yard, and then they definitely cannot allow another first down. Still have some timeouts to rely on, but they don't want to have to go to them. They'd like to save them for their offense. Well, it's been another big night from Troy Swittenberg. We haven't seen a lot from him in this fourth quarter. But Swittenberg, again, at 150 yards. And staying right with him is Monty Jesse. And Monty Jesse has been the key for his team tonight, trying to carry them to this huge upset.
So 2nd and 1. Look for Brandenburg on the keeper. He lunges forward. I think he got over the marker.
And I think that his forward progress is going to get it for him. He did have a nice surge that time.
And he got the first down.
And right behind his center, Josh Lindy. Lindy's been excellent tonight, leading Brandenburg. The couple times he's going up the middle. And that's something that Norristown hasn't had a solution for, that short yardage.
Norristown will call a timeout there. You got to stop the clock now at 2:07. But it appears that Upper Dublin is going to move to 4-4 on the season. Do the unthinkable, come into Roosevelt Field and defeat the Norristown Eagles.
And again, remember, this does not take Norristown out of the playoffs. It certainly tarnishes what's been, to this point, a brilliant season. But it's entirely possible, and in fact, probable, that at least one, probably 2 teams with a loss will get to the playoffs. And if you consider that probably there's only going to be one undefeated team in Suburban 1 National, and probably no undefeated team should Upper Dublin continue to go on and win this game in Suburban 1 American, well, now it puts Norristown still right in the thick of things. But certainly after this type of game, regardless of the outcome, they're going to have to reevaluate and regroup a little bit and figure out exactly what went wrong and finish out their season strong like they started it.
Well, and like you said, Walt, for playoffs, we were talked about at the beginning of this game that if Norristown would go through this league undefeated, they may be one of 2 undefeated teams along the Central Bucks West. Now with 1 loss, you would expect either North Penn or CB West to have that 1 loss, whoever loses that game. So now you're looking at Norristown being a 3rd seed, not having a home game, having an away game, as Jesse runs up the middle for about 3 or 4 yards. So that's the difference that makes with the 1-loss record.
And again, remember, it's not just the Suburban 1 National and Suburban 1 American, but those are traditionally where the teams come from that make the Class 4A District 1 playoff.
Guess we're just so spoiled from seeing the 4 teams come out of those, you know, from the Suburban 1. It's just such a powerful league. And when you look at, you know, Norristown, which has switched to this side, but then you look at the National, what they played in last year, and you just look down the list and it gets even more impressive when you look at the Council Rocks, who are 3rd, and teams like Neshaminy and Pennsbury, who will always give you a game. Well, Upper Dublin keeping true on their averages tonight. They averaged 22.14 points per game, and they're at 22 right now, and they give up 23 a game, just a little under that. So, and if they win this game, they'll go to 4-4. So they are the team of averages, Walt.
Yeah, and that's you know, about where you'd expect them. Although they've certainly gotten there in a strange way. And this would be their 3rd win in a row. They came in with 2 straight victories to really sort of turn their season around, and this would, with 3 games to go, really put a cap on it.
Brandenburg, the handoff to Jesse. He'll push up the middle. He'll get a couple of yards. Now Norristown with no more timeouts to stop the clock. So it'll keep running on 3rd and about 3. If you had asked me before this game if, you know, Upper Dublin was going to only allow 21 points in Norristown, I would have said, well, that, you know, that's a really good effort from Upper Dublin. But to think that they could put 22 on the board against this defense, it is unthinkable to me. On 3rd and 3, handoff to Jesse. He'll get to the outside. No, he's tackled out there by Audley Stewart. A good tackle, but the clock continues to run. We'll run under a minute. Nothing Norristown can do to stop the clock. Upper Dublin on 4th down. Will they take the delay of game penalty here? Let it run all the way down?
Well, they have some timeouts left, so I don't think they're going to give up that 5 yards. Because the delay of game penalty, of course, would stop the clock.
Right.
So the timeout is going to have the same effect. So I think what they're going to do is let it run right down. They've already gone to the official to say, yep, give me a time.